how you can reduce your VAT bill, ne? So we say that every 2 months, you then pay this money over to SARS, right? I'm looking for a highlighter. Okay, we're saying that you now have to pay this VAT over to SARS. So how can you reduce this? Because you are now a VAT vendor, when you are buying, right? So from your suppliers, oh, sorry. From your suppliers, when you are buying the raw material, right? Because your supplier is going to sell them to you, and I'm assuming that your supplier is a VAT vendor. When they sell it to you, they're going to sell you the raw material at 100 Rand, right? And if they are VAT vendors, they are then also going to charge VAT. So now there's now going to be the 15 Rand. So the total, the selling price to you is then going to be 115. So the 100 plus the VAT amount. So how you then get to reduce the tax bill is when you are paying. So this is when you made the sale to your customer. That 55 Rand, this one here, right? You can then reduce it by this 15 Rand when you were buying. So the total amount that you end up paying to SARS is not the 55 Rand, right, that you charged here. It's the 55 Rand less the 15 Rand from when you were buying. So now you only end up paying the difference to SARS, which is 35. Okay, does that make sense? So if you are a VAT vendor, when you charged the 55 Rand for the VAT when you are selling, when you buy goods from a VAT vendor as well, you get to reduce that much VAT with the 15 Rand for when you were buying, and you only have to pay the difference over to SARS. So that's how you get to pay less VAT. Are you with me? So if you are registered for VAT, trading with fellow VAT vendors helps you reduce your VAT bill. Does that make sense?
No, Pamela, no. Maybe I'm the only one lost. No.
How does it? Okay. Okay. All right. So this is in this example, here, this is you selling a good to a customer. Because you are registered for VAT, you had to charge this 15% of 55 Rand, right? If that's how much money you, after 2 months, that's how much money you then have to pay over to SARS, the 55 Rand 50. However, if you buy goods from a VAT vendor, I'm sure you've seen on your slips from your suppliers where there's the 15% whenever you buy from them, right? That 55%, that VAT that they are charging you, you then get to reduce that 55 Rand that you would have paid over to SARS by that amount that the supplier would have charged you. So then you end up only paying over to SARS 35 Rand instead of the 55 rand. I hope you're seeing some light. Is it still not clear? Okay, if it's not clear, let me just explain the principle again, right? If you are registered for VAT, if you also buy goods from a VAT vendor, you get to reduce your VAT bill, because when you buy the goods, they would have charged you VAT. So then you get to claim back that VAT that they have charged you. So that's how you reduce the VAT that you are paying over to SARS, by trading with suppliers that are also VAT vendors. Okay. So this is something that your accountant will do for you in the background, right? So what's important on your side is to make sure that you're keeping your invoices from your suppliers, because that's how the accountant is going to be able to confirm that when you were buying these goods, VAT was charged, and therefore you can be able to claim it back. Okay, so that's the important thing that you as a business owner can do, is to make sure that you keep your invoices when you are buying goods from suppliers, be it at Macro, be it at Build It, whenever you buy goods or services even, right? If you were charged VAT and you are a VAT vendor, you get to claim back the VAT portion, all right? So that's what it means. So there are accounting systems that can help you with the process, because we know that a lot of business owners lose the slips. They forget them, they put them in the car. Sometimes they even fade away, right? The ink on the slip. So the apps like Xero, accounting systems like Xero, they, on your phone, they have an app, right? Whereby you can just take a picture of that invoice, and it gets sent to the accounting system. And that's how you can easily keep record of your slips. So make sure that you're using an accounting system that allows you to easily keep records of your expenses, by simple things like taking a picture of that invoice from your supplier. So when you are buying. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Liseko?
Hi, Pamela. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. And how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for this. This is actually quite interesting.
Mm.
I wanted to ask, so, and I see you gave an example of a product-based company, like a company that sells cars, for example. Could you please give an example of a service-based company, like, for example, your company or consulting company, how this would apply?
Okay, so thank you. Great question. So let's use my company as an example. I buy from service providers. For example, my marketing company, they are VAT vendors, so they charge me VAT. So because I'm registered for VAT, when I invoice my clients for my accounting services, I charge 15% that I'm holding on behalf of SARS and then paying it over to SARS. So how I then reduce my VAT bill is when my marketing company gives me an invoice, because they have charged VAT, I get to claim back that VAT. So that's how it works for a service-based company. But I must say that for a lot of service-based companies, they tend to pay more VAT than product-based, because product-based, they have higher cost of sales, because they need to buy goods, they need to buy stock, they need to buy raw material. So in most instances, service-based companies tend to pay more VAT. But remember, you're not paying that VAT from your profits, you're not paying that VAT from your expenses, I mean your costs. You had charged the VAT to your customers, and we're just holding it on behalf of SARS. So you are just transferring the money. So it's literally should be an in and out. So what you can do now, because when the VAT comes into your business, it comes in as part of it goes into your bank account, basically. So what we normally advise businesses is, when money comes into your company, take 15% and put it into a separate account. so that when VAT period time comes, there's money that is sitting there waiting for it. Because remember, you were literally holding that money on behalf of SARS. So take 15%, put it into a separate account, maybe earn some interest, because you have to pay it after 2 months. But just keep it separate from your normal money so that you don't get tempted or use it. Because what happens if you do use it and it's time to submit to pay the VAT over to SARS, you now don't have money, which can result in you paying VAT late and then incurring interest and penalties, which is unnecessary because it just makes your taxes even higher because you paid late. Liseko, I hope that has answered that question.
No, thank you. It was quite insightful. Thank you
Okay.
for answering the question.
Okay, great. All right. Are there any other questions? So again, this is recorded, so please watch it again and just ask your accountant are you helping me reduce my VAT by ensuring that when I buy, I think there's a hand up. Do I have a hand up? How can I have a hand up? Okay. All right.
Pamela.
Yes,
Hi,
dear.
Pamela.
Yes.
Does the law allow you to put in any type of account that is interest generating, or are there limitations to say you can only use this type of account? In any?
Yeah, you can put it in any account. There's no limit there. As long as when it's time to pay the VAT, you take it out of that account and pay it over to SARS. So where the money gets put in is literally at your discretion. Just when it's time to pay it, just pay it over to avoid any interest.
Pay the money out of interest and still save your 15%. I mean, with time, I'm just saying with time.
Yeah, so when you pay the money over to SARS, you're only paying the VAT portion. The interest belongs to you. Oh, am I not answering your question? You can just repeat it?
No, I was just saying eventually long term, if you invest properly in a good account, that generates
good interest, yeah.
Money well.
Yeah.
Or you're lucky you put it in some, good interest.
Yeah.
And not necessarily a bank account. You can invest somewhere else. Then long term, let's say after 10 years, you may find that you actually using the interest, to pay. I'm saying very long term, if you think long term.
If you think long term, yeah.
It's because I like money. That's one. Investment is my passion.
Yes, definitely. That's a great idea. That's a very good
that's
idea.
why I'm asking anything that you can invest.
Anything. Just as long as when it's time to pay to VAT, you give the SARS man his portion, his VAT amount. Where you invested, how you invested is at your discretion. Okay. All right, cool. What happened? All right. Any other questions? All right. I just want to see if I've covered all the questions that normally come out. Okay, the question that I would normally have is, why do we have to pay VAT? Oh, the question that I normally get is, why do we have to pay VAT on invoices when you have not yet received the money? Okay, why? Just because I've raised the invoice doesn't mean that I've necessarily received the money for that invoice. Why am I still being charged VAT? Why do I still have to pay VAT over to SARS? So the reason that is because if you are registered on the income invoice basis for your VAT, you pay VAT when you raise an invoice. It's not linked to when you get paid. There are some companies that register for VAT on the cash basis, meaning that they only have to pay VAT over to SARS when they've received the money on that invoice. If your company is on the invoice basis, you pay VAT based on when the invoice was raised, not necessarily when the money you've received the money for that invoice. All right. So when do you submit VAT? Most companies submit VAT every 2 months. Some companies it's every month, but the majority of small businesses submit VAT every 2 months. Okay, I hope I've covered the questions. All right. Okay, so the question that my husband is asking is, what if you don't want to register for VAT? Right? If your revenue is more than 1 million, you have to. It's not an option. It's a requirement by law. Then if you don't register when your revenue is more than 1 million, you're literally breaking the law, right? It's a requirement by law. So if you are not yet past the million rand mark, you don't have to register. But the moment you hit the 1 million, then you have to register. Okay. Cool. Let me see if I've covered everything. I just want to see if I've covered everything. Okay. The other thing is, when do you submit and when do you pay for VAT? Because these are two different activities. You submit VAT every 2 months, which is by the 25th of the month when you're supposed to submit VAT. And if you're submitting via e-filing, then by month end, you must pay the VAT. Okay, so what that means is, if you submit VAT on the even months, meaning that you submit February, April, June, August, no, October, right? So those months. So if you're submitting VAT for February, by the 25th of March, you must have submitted the VAT to SARS. And by the 30th of March, you must have paid the VAT over to SARS. If you submit late, you pay interest and penalties. If you pay late, you pay interest and penalties. All right, I just want to clarify that. All right, if you've got a question, please just raise your hand. All right, so just to touch on this, there's lots of tax savings for your business. So just make sure that you are having the discussions with your accountant to make sure that you are paying less taxes for your business. All right. So if you would like an ebook that we have written for small businesses, the top 10 reasons why business owners change accountants, I'm just gonna send a link to a chat on how you can get the ebook. This is one of the gifts. The second gift is, please feel free to register for a 30-minute consultation with me so I can further assess how your company can pay less taxes. It's free. Just book 30 minutes with me and then we'll have the one-on-one consultation. So how you can register again, I'm sending it on the chats. Okay, this was a 3-part webinar on how small businesses can pay less taxes. If you'd like to get the recordings for all 3 webinars, please reach out to us. So guys, please share with me, what would you like us to discuss at the next webinar? Is there any topics which might not be around taxes? It could be about business in general. Some of the topics that I wanted to address would be the questions I get from a lot of business owners, things on like, how much salary should the business owner be getting from the business? That's a lot. I get that question a lot. Yes, dear?
I was thinking maybe for understanding how to read annual financial statement.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Okay. All right. I'll definitely, I've taken a note of that. Thank you for that.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
So we will send out communication on the next webinars. We're planning on having webinars every week on Thursday, 9 o'clock on different topics. There will be some webinars where I'm inviting experts on different areas within the business. For example, somebody I'm going to be bringing at one of the webinars will be discussing how you can further grow your sales by being part of an enterprise supplier development program, right? The other one is with regards to salary structures for employees as well as directors, right? So we will be having these webinars on a weekly basis. So please make sure that you register for them, but communication will be sent out. Okay. So these are our contact details. Please send us a call, send us an WhatsApp on 073-490-1703. You can check us our website at nzumoconsulting.co.za. You can send us an email at sales@nzumoconsulting.co.za. We are physically based in Gauteng, but we operate anywhere in South Africa thanks to technology, Zoom, and NN. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. I really do appreciate it. It's December. People are already Decembering, and you chose to be here. So I really do appreciate what you have done. Okay. If you've got any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. I'll stay on for another 5 minutes, and then we can call it a day and see you next week, Thursday. Okay. Liseko, if you've got a question for me, please do raise your hand or just unmute. Lucky, hi Lucky. If you do have a question for me, just raise your hand. Masabata, thank you for the suggestion of the next not of one of the webinars that we're gonna talk about. Pumlani, if you've got a question, please raise your hand. Pumzile, if you've got a question, just unmute and I'm here. More sharp. Oh gosh, please forgive me. Mrs. Kane, if you've got a question.
It's me. It's me. No, I just want to say thank you so much, Pamela, for the sacrifice you make. And I mean, you work so hard, but people are Decembering, but you're working. We are just recipients. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you for the sacrifices and happy holidays.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
For everybody, and I hope you get a good rest and start afresh with a bang in 2024. Happy holidays all.
Bye guys. Happy holidays. Thank you. Thank you so much for closing us off. That's just beautiful. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.